right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's call the Water and Lake Commission meeting to order for March 19th, 2025. Please call roll.
Commissioner Grundy?
Yes.
Commissioner Quirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Rapaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Riopel?
Yes.
Thank you. Approved minutes from previous meeting, March 5th, 2025.
I'll move. Second.
Please call roll.
Grundy?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
Bills and payroll.
Move. Second.
Call roll, please.
Grundy?
Yes.
Quirk?
Yes.
Rapaz?
Yes.
Riopel?
Yes.
All right, nothing from the public. Reports, Mr. Todd.
Good morning.
Morning, Todd.
Just a few updates. Our 2024 equipment and material. We did get the industrial park sub transformer spare bushing in on the 13th that we were waiting for. It was about actually a week ahead of schedule, so which is somewhat surprising given today's state. Everything looked good on it. Working with Todd, trying to figure out how to store it long term. Because we're not going to be using it right away, hopefully. So, working on that, and then once we get the invoice for that and get that approved, that's going to close out the 2024 equipment materials. Our 2025 miscellaneous project, that's what I've got is under number 7 for that. Our 2025 equipment materials, probably got about 25% of that materials come in so far. So we're moving ahead with that. That's going good. Other than that, miscellaneous, assisting Steve with some electrical easements for some flood plats that he's working on. That's a continuing project that we're trying to get those finished up. Also is helping Steve out on the electrical for lift station 13 remodeling that they're doing, or going to do here in 2025. Mainly just to make sure we have fiber access into that building that they're putting up, so we can put future fiber into there for communications. Still working on some mapping, and then just other miscellaneous stuff that comes up. So that's all I have for my report.
Any questions for Todd?
I have none.
Mr. Quirk? No? Okay. Thank you, Todd.
Steve apologized for not being here. Apparently their company's trying to teach him something today. So.
Oh boy, I hope they should have started years ago, huh?
Good luck with that one.
But he said no updates on the civil, pretty much the same as what we reported last time. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gallstead.
Good morning. Just to kind of piggyback on what Todd said, the city's doing a replat of all the areas that have been either vacated or purchased on the other side of the floodplain. And so there's a bunch of, well, in all the plats, and I'm getting ready to vacate different streets and easements so that we don't have all those miscellaneous lots just sitting out there in streets that aren't being used. So I'm glad to hear that they're talking about what we may need to reserve in some of those right-of-ways or utility easements that we have out there. I just want to make sure that before I go through, which is going to be fairly soon, vacating all those streets, that we reserve what we need for our utilities that are already there. So other than that, that's about all I have. And just want to say have a great rest of your week.
Any questions for Mr. Gallstead?
No.
Nope. Thank you, Ron. Old business, nothing. 2025 miscellaneous electrical distribution construction projects, approval of plans and specifications. Whew.
It's a long introduction. So yes, we do have the plans and specs put together for 2025 miscellaneous. projects. That's the book I've got here. We've got 5 projects. I sort of handed out a little map of where they're at. Mostly in the central part of town and 1 project down to the point. We've got 3 fiber projects. The storm lift K10 to the park substation. It's over by the swimming pool. Another fiber project from the Point Reservoir to storm lift L2. The other fiber project is just going from lift 5, which is by Park and Recs, over to the distribution service center. The 2 electrical projects are fairly small. One's the Folsom Farm service. We're putting in a new transformer there and looping that. And the other one is, again, over by the park substation. That's replacing some cable, smaller cable with some 500 MCM, because that's somewhat of a choke point in the system for load transfer. It's just a short section. It's all in conduit. So it's just a matter of pulling out the old and pulling in the new. So, looking at an construction estimate of around $45,600 for all that work. So it's pretty much on par with last year's construction estimate for that. We're looking at a bid date, or bid opening date of April 24th at 2 o'clock. That will give us plenty of time to get that ready for your review and approval at the May 7th meeting. And then we're looking at having a pre-bid meeting on April 8th, just to meet with the contractors and go over the projects and whoever's interested in bidding. So I'm looking for approval of those plans and specs and authorization to go out for bids.
Motion.
I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Quirk,
Yes.
Repaz,
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
We'll get that out.
Thanks, Todd. All right, department heads. I haven't seen you for a long time, Todd. Good morning.
Good morning. As Todd mentioned, we did get the new industrial park arrestor came in, and we do have, I did get the long-term storage from the distributors, so we'll get it stood up and get it covered up and put away. We had Keith Bicklum from MMUA was in town yesterday, and we did a first aid training. All the guys attended that were at work. And then I did get a call from, we ordered some 6-inch ultrasonic meters in 2024, so we would have them set up to switch over. We got a couple at the Beat Factory and one other one at the campground, so those will be shipped out this week, so we'll be getting those so we can incorporate those into the system. And then we had an accident Saturday morning out on Highway 2. We had a truck that tipped over into the ditch and had pushed one of the switches off that runs circuit 3. So the call came in from the PD right around 6:58. I was able to get a hold of the crew. We got in there and we did some switching so we would minimize the outage. If something did happen, that switch did stay energized till we were able to get back out there in the afternoon and isolate it. So I want to thank those guys for coming out. You couldn't hardly see your hand in front of your face out there, so it was a little bit of work. And we did go out on Monday, and they went out and removed it and cleaned out the basement and inspected the wire for some damage. The wires were loose. They were able to tighten everything up. There was one nick in one of the wires there, but they were able to put some aqua seal on there and tighten up everything. So everything is back in service there. So that was good to get that back up. It could have been a lot worse. And then just getting it on in that short a time of fashion that was pretty good. And I did get a call from Crystal last week They were supposed to start their chillers, they keep their freeze piles on. But the main guy was out of town. They turned them on a couple days early, so we picked up a little more load there. But other than that, that's about all I have. I want to circle back to the last outage when I was gone too. Those guys did a nice job. Hats off to them. I was out of town. They handled it professionally, and they had everything on relatively soon. So it's nice to see that when somebody's gone, they can pick it up. So that's all I have.
Excellent teamwork.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Any questions for Todd?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brian, you're up to the stage.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
I'd just like to get you caught up to speed here quickly on a few items since I missed our last meeting. I recently completed the water plant annual narrative report. And then for the month of March, all our Department of Health required samples have been collected and sent in for analysis. The DNR water conservation report has been completed and certified. And along with that, I'd like to give a big thank you to Maren, Jordan, and Brianna for helping me collect all the data that's required for that report. I've been working on I got started working on the lead and copper sampling site plan for our sampling this summer. The water plant staff has started monitoring and preparing for the inevitable river runoff that we're anticipating. And then lastly, next week I have a LAWA Technical Advisory Committee meeting I'll be attending. That's all I have.
Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
Any questions for Brian?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Brianna.
Good morning. I don't have a lot today. Just been really busy getting ready for the audit. They will be on site Monday morning, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They don't usually stay the full 3 days. So yeah, just been busy doing that, finishing up last minute things, hoping to get them the trial balance tomorrow or first thing Friday morning, because that's kind of the final thing that they need to look at everything. And so once I have everything submitted for us, then anything that's left for the city audit, I hope tackle that. So, and then because that one is the following week. So unless there's any questions for me.
Any questions for Brianna? Thank you.
Thank you.
Jordan, you didn't give the farm away this month.
Time of the year.
Morning.
Good morning, buddy.
Just a short report here. Working on a lot of reporting, so I'm finishing up that annual narrative. I'm working with Keith on the federal EIA 861 report that we do annually. Besides that, just a couple small rebates. We did have an air source heat pump for the residential side, and then one small commercial rebate for the Red River Potato Marketing Building on Gateway. That was just going to be 2 LED exterior fixtures. Besides that, next week, next Saturday and Sunday, we got the Forks Builders Home Show. It's going to be at the Purple Arena in Grand Forks, 10 to 6 Saturday, 12 to 4 on Sunday. So we partner with the EDA on a booth for that. That's about all I have. Any questions?
Questions for Jordan? No. No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Corey.
Nothing else.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Keith.
So a couple things. The main item is yesterday we conducted interviews for the assistant line foreman. We had Mr. Grindy, and we had Tyler and Todd and myself in on the interviews with Terry. And this morning we're going to finish the process. We're going to finish scoring, and then hopefully we'll let the successful applicant know who we've chosen here, maybe today or tomorrow, and then plan to bring that to your attention for approval at the next commission meeting. And so it was a good interview process as usual, and I thank Josh for taking the time to come there. And then the other thing that I'll mention is that we're getting ready to start the budget process again. I started to have discussions with Brianna on that, and we're going to get something out so the years go by fast, and we're already going to be starting to talk about 2026. And lastly, MMPA board meeting on Tuesday. And so I'll be attending that. Anything else?
You know, when he got up with no papers in his hand, I was like,
I'd like to comment, excuse me, a little bit more on them interviews. Glad to see the teamwork, which is a testament to what these guys have said on, and with these outages that they fixed. And with the interviews that we had from internal, very impressive.
Good to
The
see that
city's
we have
going to be in
interest.
great shape for years to come.
good.
With intelligent people with the city in mind. So that was great to see.
Yep, I agree.
That's all I got on that.
Any questions or?
No questions for Keith?
All right, thanks.
Anything from the commission?
Not for me.
How about a motion to adjourn?
I'll move. I'll second.
Please call roll.
Grindy,
Yes.
Quirk,
Yes.
Rapaz,
Yes.
Riepel.
Yes.
It's adjourned. Thank you, everyone. See you, Mike.